Stephen Miller, his wife, is named Katie Miller. And I've noticed before, she's kind of trying to use her marriage with Stephen Miller and the way that they're in the public eye to start a media career and be like a face out there. I mean, she's not ready for prime time. It's not her thing. She never comes off correctly, and then she says stuff that doesn't make any sense. And you remember that clip? I'll show it to you again on CNN, where she keeps getting angry at Abby Phillip because Abby Phillip's like, hey, do you think that Republicans should be embracing Nick Fuentes? And she's like, well, someone called Stephen Miller a Nazi, so. Okay, but do you think that y'all should be embracing Nick Fuentes? Well, one of your guests called my husband a Nazi, so why is that okay? What? Okay, well, are we not answering the question? I'm confused. So, we now get to this, and I'll show you her on Fox News very upset. But first, here is the sequence of events that led to her Fox News appearance. Democrats, the official Democratic Party X account, posted an image of Democratic nominee for Senate James Tallarico in Texas, of him standing in front of a Texas flag with his hands in his back pockets, kind of like, oh, you're taking a photo of me? That post. And Democrats said, fired up, ready to go, it's time to take back Texas. To which Stephen Miller, the Voldemort of the Trump administration, responded, the Democrats made history in Texas by nominating their first transgender Senate candidate. To which the official Democratic Party X account responded, and I will say this as it is written, quote, shut up, you ugly fuck. And it got what in the Benny Johnson world is described as thermonuclear virality, okay? It very much ratioed the Stephen Miller post and got 300,000 likes and 34 million views. So if you say to yourself, why would the official Democratic Party account post something so raunchy, so rude to Stephen Miller? Well, a normal tweet would not get that many views. And clearly people liked it because it had a very large number and then also a good ratio compared to the comments. So I've said before, whenever Democrats get vicious in response to Republican viciousness, I get it. Like the morality of it, I understand. I personally get uncomfortable because I'm a lib boy and a soy boy. And so it kind of freaks me out when people start talking mean. But that's just me. I get it. I get the strategy of it. When Newsom's X account started getting more vicious, it got more traction. A lot of people liked it. And a lot of people have looked back on a very beautiful sentiment from Michelle Obama, which was when they go low, we go high. And have said, you know what, that doesn't fit this era. We've moved from us being woke to dark woke. We have to be vicious if they're going to be vicious. So that's kind of like the intellectual explanation behind that sort of back and forth. But then it gets weird because Katie Miller says this was a call to violence. Quickest pause to request that you click the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. It's completely free and it's the simplest way to support the work that we do right below the video. Click that subscribe button, and then also whatever you're thinking or some random statement, drop it in the comments. That helps algorithmically, and click the like button. Back to the video.
Democrats are, perhaps going to nominate their first transgender Senate candidate, talking about Tallarico, and they responded by just, basically saying, shut up, you ugly F word, essentially. Any word for the Democrats, their little Twitter account?
This is the same violent political rhetoric that is leading people to shooting up, whether it be the White House Correspondents' Dinner or President Trump and Butler. But what it remains to be seen is this is an anonymous account, and it is run actually by a sad liberal woman named Paulina, which is why Pew says 50% of liberal women at some time have identified that they have a mental health disorder, and she is certainly one of them. What a sad state for the pathetic Democrat Party.
Well, Pauline, poor Pauline. Katie and Chris, great to see.
You know what I mean? You can tell that like her voice is kind of shaky. She's not exactly using the correct words, and then she's throwing out stats that aren't accurate. I think she's referring to like liberal white women, how many say in surveys that they've gone to a doctor and examined their mental health or something like that, and that is different than how she worded it. 50% of all liberal women have a mental disorder. And by the way, I'm sure that liberal women are more likely to be diagnosed for something because there's a cultural norm for going to doctors, getting examinations, going to therapy among liberals, compared to like Stephen Miller has a mental disorder. He just hasn't gotten diagnosed for it. You know what I mean?
The study is young, white, liberal woman, so tight demographic.
Young, white, liberal women. That's like the most likely subgroup to go to a doctor and be like, hey, tell me what's going on, which is not bad at all. Exploring and understanding more about your mental makeup is good. It can help you be even happier in life. So that was a weird attack. And then she attacks the person who runs the account specifically, okay? Because it's not that person's name, but she found out who runs that account and attacked her personally. And I'll get to that in a second. She also goes after her for like being single. You're a single cat lady or whatever is the next attack line from Katie Miller. And she was seething about this on X as well. But it's weird for her to describe the term ugly, which was what Stephen Miller was called. Again, not my style of rhetoric, you know. I still kind of keep it a little bit too sweet for the moment. I get that. And I'm not saying that's correct. I'm just soft. But they called him ugly. That's not like good, productive political discourse, but it's good crap talk on X. It's not violent rhetoric. Katie Miller described it as violent rhetoric. If calling someone ugly is violent rhetoric, what say you, Katie, to...
You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals. Your Twitter account...
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
No, it wasn't.
So that was a long time ago, you might say. Okay, recently Trump called a reporter a piggy, which is also referencing ugliness. So that's the part that gets me fired up is I go, okay, I don't really know what's happening to our political discourse. You got official accounts being like, hey, you're ugly. Hey, you're trans. Hey, you're a fat pig. Hey, you're a cuck. Stephen Chung's out there like, oh, Harry Sisson likes getting spanked until his booty cheeks are red or something weird like that. And it's just kind of like what's happening now, and I don't like it in general. Who's the biggest culprit? Trump. For the longest time in this era of MAGA degrading our decency norms, Democrats would stay following the rules of being all normal. And then they got a little edgy during the 2024 campaign and were like, they're weird. We said it. And the right was like, what? You can't call us weird. Ah! And then now they're going, all right, you know what? If the official White House accounts are saying, shut up, you stupid idiot, and oh, this person likes getting spanked, oh, you're a cuck, oh, you're a soy boy cuck bitch. These are official White House spokespeople will say stuff like that. Then I understand, even if I don't agree necessarily, or if I'm not comfortable with, that's going to force the other side into getting pretty darn vicious and going low too. And it's not the most consequential thing if we're being mean online as the other much more foundational issues at stake here. But what really fires me up aside from all that is for the Katie Millers. Have you heard, Katie, what your husband says about anyone he doesn't like? Have you heard what your husband's daddy says, meaning Trump, about anyone he doesn't like? Have you seen what your movement has done to decency norms in our country? And you dare feign outrage about a potty word and the word ugly? That's just so dumb. So you heard Katie Miller did attack the person who runs that Democratic Party account. She did it also on X, saying Paulina Mungubat is who runs the Democrats account. She's 30, unmarried with no kids. Put your name on it next time. This is what a sad, unhappy female liberal looks like. It's why Pew reports 50% of them have been diagnosed with a mental condition. And then posts a photo where you realize Paulina is very beautiful. That's funny. Like her trying to dunk on her. Look at the face of a sad, and it's a casual shot where you're like, oh my gosh, Paulina is so beautiful. To which Paulina responded, well, now seems like a good time to share that I'm getting married. We just put down the deposit on the venue and bought my dress low. I didn't end up picking this one, but I thought it looked nice. And then posts her in one of the wedding dresses that she tried out. So she's actually about to be married, Katie. And I don't know what's going on in the Miller household, but I'd guess whoever Paulina's marrying will be a much more normal person than Stephen Miller. Wait. we're getting word that Hunter Biden wants to speak on this.
I don't know anyone personally that if you took Stephen Miller, isolated, and you played a clip of the things that he says.
Every day we arrest another alien they let into this country who raped a child, who beat a woman.
Quote, all the kinky-haired, swarthy-skinned, long-despised phantoms, all the teeming ants toiling for the white man's comfort.
And his little physical demeanor, and not be able to say, there's something fucked up about that motherfucker.
Okay, so yes, Hunter, we've heard you say that before. I don't know why you needed us to hear it again. And then as we just examine,
fucked up about that motherfucker.
If we examine Katie Miller's attempt at being a media star, you know, your couple, your partner, and you are only in the spotlight for so long. Trump eventually will leave office. Stephen Miller will be disgraced. And so she's trying to make the most of these few years where the Miller name has any pull. And so she launched her podcast, which isn't doing that well, but it looks like she might get a huge acquisition because life is not fair. And merit is not the only reason people get a lot of money. And so then she is on CNN in this clip, as we've looked at before, and just... like I said, not ready for prime time. This doesn't compel me at all. She doesn't seem comfortable in these settings.
Question is yes or no?
Yes, I'm okay. If Nick Fuentes wants to be able to speak freely in our country, he has every right to do so. Do I agree with his views? Do I think that they should become mainstream in our country?
Yes or no question.
Absolutely not. But hold on. I really want to go back to this for 1 second.
But this isn't about whether he can speak freely. It's about whether someone like Tucker Carlson, who is a very powerful force in the conservative movement.
You host people on your show all the time who call my husband and myself a Nazi. So how is that any different from Tucker Carlson going on? Nick Fuentes having Tucker Carlson on his show? It's not different.
He's actually
anti-Semitic. He's anti-Semitic.
A Hitler admirer. Nick Fuentes is actually a Hitler admirer.
But he literally is not a good human being.
That is a different thing.
Excuse me. You have Jennifer Welch on your show very often, and you've never pushed back as she has called my husband a white nationalist.
Hold on.
That is no different than.
Okay, so I don't know about the word Nazi, but your husband is definitely a white nationalist. That we don't have to argue over. Don't say that it's horrific that Jennifer Welch would call Stephen Miller a white nationalist. There's reports, triple confirmed, that Trump was sitting with Stephen Miller, and Trump said, Stephen, maybe we don't need to hear any more from you, something to this effect, on immigration right now, because if you had your way, everyone would look like you. So that definitely white nationalist. That's clear.
Nick Fuentes going on Tucker Carlson's show. It's not, and you should admit it.
Well, hold on. How is it anything similar? It's not remotely.
I hate this. I hate it. Even though I really don't appreciate her as someone who's done like television hits and been in those settings, it's so relatable. Watch as she says this. She's trying to get a dunk, and then your nerves are going crazy when you're trying to get your soundbite. And so then she kind of is like fidgeting around, catching her breath. Watch this.
You've never pushed back as she has called my husband a white nationalist.
Hold on.
That is no different than Nick Fuentes going on Tucker Carlson's show. It's not, and you should admit it.
Well, hold on. How is it anything similar? It's not remotely similar at all. Nick Fuentes.
That's so interesting. Yeah. Even these figures struggle with just butterflies destroying their body while they're trying to talk. Yeah. So you Nazi, and they call that's nothing different than Nazi. Okay. Bummer. Okay, so first of all, it's not a response at all to the question, and it cracks me up when people are like, hey, do you think that it was a wise move for Tucker to like give Nick Fuentes a massage and be all cutesy and not really push back on anything in their interview? Was that a good choice? Was that moral? Was that moving the needle in the correct direction? And people are like, I support his right to speak. No, obviously, yes, of course, he has the right to speak. He has the right to go on whatever platform. It's that we're just disagreeing over, should Tucker have made that choice? Or do you think that's good for political discourse? Like, I don't want to infringe First Amendment. The First Amendment doesn't say you have a right to go on anyone's podcast. They get to choose who goes on it. So that's bizarre. And then she just keeps responding with, well, somebody called my husband a Nazi. So on the calling him an ugly F word, F-bomb, it's really going to be a defining moment right now where you can feel a shift from a sensitive left that while sometimes that sensitivity made them seem out of touch, like, oh, don't use this exact word. Oh, wait, did you properly identify this characteristic? So, wait, do you understand there's a new category for... That sensitivity made some in kind of your just regular middle of the road world go, what is happening? They seem really obsessed with minor things. Ever since Trump won, it feels like the left went, all right, you know what? Screw it. We're done with that. We're going the other direction. Now we're going to abandon all sensitivity and fight as aggressively as we need to for what we believe in. There's some of that's really admirable. I just saw that Gavin Newsom, for example, announced, that slush fund, the 1776, 1.7, almost $1.8 billion that the Trump administration is going to take from us, the taxpayers, to then divvy out to people they believe the Biden administration wronged. It's like a weaponization fund. Ridiculous. It's going to go to insurrectionists. And some of it will go to insurrectionists. Newsom said anyone who gets that money in the state of California will have that money taxed at 100%. That's unconventional. I go, wait, what's the legality of that? Can you pick one type of money and then just take it? But is it the type of aggressive policy that even if it didn't work shows how seriously you take pushing back against the corruption of the Trump administration? Yes, that's like, oh, okay, here's a Democrat who's willing to do something really unconventional outside the box, legally questionable, for the sake of pushing back against the completely box obliterating activities of the Trump administration. Going around social media and just being kind of rude, I don't know how much that moves the needle. But I definitely don't think MAGA has a place to talk. If you ever feel like these Democratic accounts, Newsom's or the Democratic Party account, are getting too rude, just check in on the Rapid Response White House account or Stephen Chung's account and then see how it compares. That would be my request. So do I like that our discourse has become this? No. But do I understand why Democrats are now playing by the same set of rules? Yes. And two, who changed the rules? Republicans did.